What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of C.A.P. This is your boy JD, and what we're gonna do? We're gonna cultivate.
This is your girl Erica, and we're going to accumulate, and together we
will all prosper. What's good?
Oh man, I'm so good to be here. Last Saturday, just crazy. Just last Saturday was Memphis conference.
It was a good time. I was there. I was a vendor. A lot of powerful speakers. It was a great event.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful. If you notice, I came with my manifest vision, manifest purpose, manifest dreams. Okay.
Yeah. Great event that you did last Saturday. So now we're gonna get off into the buzz topics. The first one that we got is the state of Arkansas have canceled Arkansas AP African History. What is your take on that, Erica?
Okay. Here it is. Okay, so I was looking at what Sarah Huckabee Sanders said, and she said we cannot perpetuate a lie to our students and push this propaganda leftist agenda, teaching our kids to hate America and hate one another. How in the world? What sense does this make? I mean, it's like, how is that teaching our kids to hate America? Please help me to understand this.
Well, personally, I think just like with a lot of stuff from the governor in Florida, Ron DeSantis, canceling African-American history, a lot of these Republican governors are trying to whitewash history. When I was in school, and I actually finished high school in Arkansas, when we moved there from Florida, how ironic. That was in the mid-'90s. I came out of high school in 95, so we can, that's what I said, almost 28 years been out of high school. But it's just, that right there just says a lot. Now, when you look at the colleges in Arkansas, my brother went to University of Arkansas. I'm a HBCU grad from Tennessee State. Well, the University of Arkansas football program is real big SEC. Most of the players on that team are young black guys. The same people who are okay with this garbage that they're doing are going to be at the games on Saturdays cheering on the Razorbacks, but they okay with their children not learning about African-American history and the things that this country has done. It's just once again, it's a lot of whitewashing, white privilege, white supremacy, and we all had to speak out against that. Now, you should be able to do two things at once. I'm embracing and glad football season is here, but you got to think about your grandkids or the kids that you haven't had that's going to come well after we're gone, when these folks are trying to turn back history. They're trying to make it seem like slavery. We learned some skills, nonsense like that. Mm-hmm. So this is just another attempt. I wouldn't be surprised if the governor of Tennessee started this nonsense. I think, if I'm not mistaken, teaching African-American history in certain schools is either not permitted or what have you, but it's just another attempt to whitewash history, because that history is American history. Our ancestors built this country for free.
And, another thing I look at is the fact that they are saying that it's like you just won't get the graduation credit.
Yeah.
And there are some people, when it comes to, if you're not going to get the credit, they might not take it. So there's always the chance that more people will not experience this. So it's like, it's still there. You're just not going to get the credit. And if you're not going to get the graduation credit, you're going to have a lot of students not taking it.
Yeah, that's the whole premise of them doing this nonsense. But need the people in Arkansas to vote her out of office, such as the folks in Florida to vote Ron DeSantis out of office, because he's not going to, the presidency, that's some garbage as well. Governor Abbott in Texas, Governor Lee here in Tennessee. I mean, all these governors are following the same Jim Crow type of mentality, and most of these states have a lot of black people. Mm-hmm. And we just gotta make sure we keeping a conscious watch on that. But the next topic on a lighter note, can't wait to see this. I'm gonna see it this weekend. The Equalizer 3 with my guy Denzel is out, and this is the last movie in the trilogy. What do you think about that, Eric?
I'm ready for this one. I'm ready for this one. I can't wait till I have the opportunity to see it. Hopefully it will be soon. This is one I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for this one. Um, I'm a big Denzel Washington fan anyway. So the Equalizers are kind of in some of my favorites, top favorites of Denzel. Yeah. So I'm ready. I'm ready. Not sure when I'm going to get the opportunity to see it. If I understand correctly, it's set in southern Italy.
Yeah.
Southern Italy.
Set in southern Italy. The premise of it, he finds his friends are under control of a local crime boss and takes on the mafia in a very smooth way. Like, don't get me wrong, John Wick is cool. I like John Wick, but I've always, if I had to pick one, I've always been an Equalizer fan with Robert McCall because he's smooth with it.
Yeah.
And he's real methodical with it, and he just lets you know, like, you got a few seconds to, get yourself together, and then he's going to go ahead and do what he do. So I look forward to it. This is the last one in this trilogy. The first two were good, and, I don't expect nothing but greatness from this one. So this Labor Day weekend, definitely, if you out there, go ahead and go check out the Equalizer 3.
So tell me, do you have Equalizer 1 and Equalizer 2 at home? I'm pretty sure once it comes out later, you'll have to have all three.
Oh, I do. I do. It's streaming services as well as, at the old DVDs. But yeah, I'm an Equalizer fan. So now, everybody, today we have a very special guest. We've had different guests on our podcast in the past, but today we have one of our very first singers, R&B. Anybody know that I'm old school hip hop and love pure R&B. So today we have a gentleman here who was born and raised in Memphis. First album, Welcome to DC, came out in 2014. He's a singer and songwriter. My guy here was on Making the Band 4 with Diddy, and he is a member of the Barcades. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome my special guest, Mr. Devin DC Crutcher.
What's going on?
Welcome.
What's going on?
It's an honor to be here, man. Thank you guys for having me. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm grateful that you decided to come on, man. I've been following you for a good moment, man. Not only around the local scene here in Memphis, but I've seen you perform at various venues. So, music. I love anything that someone does that's pure R&B, and that unfiltered, man.
For sure.
And so you've sung other folks' songs, you've sung your original songs. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask you, what was your first major music influence that led you to want to sing professionally?
Man, I would say my first influence was my grandmother. Her name was Betty Crutcher. She was a songwriter for Stax.
Okay.
Like, she wrote a lot of songs for Stax. She actually wrote the song "Who's Making Love" by Johnny Taylor.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she wrote that. She wrote some songs for the Staples Singers, Lil Milton, a lot of the old Stax legends. She has penned some hits on them. So with her, that was my hugest influence. But as far as artist-wise, it was Marvin.
Yeah,
I love Marvin,
yeah,
bro.
I'm a huge Marvin Gaye fan, man.
How smooth he is, the way he can get every woman's attention and be able just to make a song speak to your soul.
Yeah.
That's the part I love. So he was a huge influence on me.
I can dig that because Marvin is definitely in my music rotation. You know what I'm saying?
It's him. Yeah, bro.
He's definitely in my music rotation, man.
That's what's up.
For sure.
So listen,
What's up?
I wish I could sing. I can carry a tune, you know what I'm saying? But I have like this huge love for theater. Right.
Okay.
Stage plays, whatever. Sometimes I need some folks singing in these stage plays. So
I'm there.
yeah. But I can remember my love for the theater and for creating, beginning with being able to see the stage play Mama I Want to Sing.
Oh, wow.
Tell us how your musical journey began.
Just how it began, I would say in elementary school, no, preschool, I had led We Are the World. And then after I finished singing, all the girls were like, ooh, he can sing. I like, yeah, Mom, this is what I think I want to start doing. I want to start trying to become a singer.
You was getting the ladies and
I was
everything.
getting the ladies, baby, moving around. You hear me? But now, I think after that is what made me be like, you know, I think this is something I would love to do, something I would love to be a part of. I love entertaining.
Yeah.
It makes it so much easier to me.
Okay, so this was like preschool.
It's my sanctuary. Yeah. I started in preschool.
Okay, so then you started recording music like around.
I would say I officially started recording maybe in 2010.
Okay.
I started like actually trying to pursue a music career. The actual journey probably didn't start until after I did Making a Band. Because prior to that, I was just karaoke bars or singing with friends, and I was in some groups and stuff like that. But after Making a Band is when I decided, oh, this can really be beneficial. Because after I came off the show, I started having promoters hit me up saying, hey,
Yeah.
I got an opportunity for you. You want to open up for Kim? You want to open up for Fantasia? You want to do this? And stuff started popping up. So I thought, I was like, okay, might be what God got in plan and stored for me. So
floodgates of blessings started.
I opened it up. How
Yeah.
about my shit? Yes, sir.
Okay.
Start moving through, man. So
Yeah.
that's what actually started. So I would say after Making a Band is when I decided I wanted to become a full-time singer.
Okay.
So that's a good segue into my question. What was that experience like on Making a Band with Diddy?
Oh, wow, bro. It was actually amazing. It was actually cool. Out of 1,000 contestants, I made it to the top 10.
That's what's up.
I was the only one from the city who actually made it on there. It was Diddy is actually a cool person, bro. Like it's crazy. Like when you see him on film, he acts you know
Certain
what I'm saying?
way.
A certain way, but off camera, what's up, Playboy? You good? You need anything, man? You straight? You know, they're like, bro, that's not what I expected from you. I thought you was gonna be a butthole, but he was actually pretty cool. And in the show, it was different because I was in a house full of other guys that I do not know. You know what I'm saying? Like 20 people in one house, and you having to be on camera 24 hours a day. You got to be around somebody 24. You got to learn how to sing with other people, do certain things. So the show was cool, but it was a blessing and it had its downfall. Downfall, I would say, was because after I got off the show, I couldn't sign to anybody else for 5 years. So even though I wasn't
on the show,
because I was on the show, I was literally signed to Bad Boy, even though I didn't make it to be in Day 26.
Yeah.
So I was still a part of the label. So after that, I couldn't get signed to anybody else. And I had like 5 labels who wanted to sign me, but they looked at the contract like, we can't do anything with you because you're still signed. But that happens to every TV show. Like as far as American Idol, like even if you don't get picked, you're still signed under them for 5 years.
Whoa.
So
something I didn't know, man.
It's a positive and a negative on being on those reality TV shows. Cause you get that exposure, but it also at the end kind of hurt you a little bit too.
Yeah.
Because you'll have the exposure and everyone wants to sign you and wants to do something with you. But after they see your contract, they'll be like, we can't do anything until 5 years. And after that 5 years is over with, the buzz you have is gone. So now you got to start all the way back over again. So That's the only
Oh, wow.
part about making the band. I'm like, I probably shouldn't have did it, but it helped me out in the same time.
So the pros,
The pros and cons of
the
it.
pros and cons of it. Yeah.
So listen, I would like to know what's in the near future for Devin Crutcher.
Well, at this moment, I'm a part of the legendary Barcades.
Come on.
So
What's
I'm with
up?
them right now, and we're working a whole lot. So we're always out. Actually, the band is out in Chicago right now, but I'm still home because I have a show tomorrow on my own in St. Louis. So I had to miss a show. But the Barcades, we moving. It's a whole new band. We still have the legendary James Alexander ahead of us,
Yeah.
but it's a whole new band with youth. It's not like the old, older guys.
Yeah.
So we're bringing that funk. So I'm doing that right now, and I'm working on my own stuff, on my own albums and things. So
we can
writing
look,
for people and everything. So
we can look forward to some great albums coming from another person from Memphis, Tennessee.
actually, right now, man, I have a song that you guys can go and listen to. It's called Pedestal. It's dope. Devin Crutcher is on every platform. It's called Pedestal. Check it out. I think you'll like it. I know you'll like it.
Definitely. Is that more so? Is it a up tempo beat song, or is it a love song, or is it what type of melody flow? I'm gonna check it out most definitely, but I'm just curious on what type of.
So I'm an '80s baby, so I love songs. So it's a love song.
Okay, that's what's
It's pretty much just showing up appreciation for your mate. You got to put on the pedestal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Put it up there. Ain't that right?
Yeah. Yeah. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, you got to put it on the pedestal, man. It's dope.
Put it on the pedestal. Ooh.
Definitely gonna check that out. You all have heard what he just said, so definitely check that out. I will too. What I want to ask you is, since the podcast is called C.A.P, we always ask questions pertaining to the acronym C.A.P, cultivate, accumulate, prosper. So how did you cultivate your gift of singing into becoming the performer you are today?
A lot of hard work, man. Putting forth that effort, not stopping. Even though you may run to some haters or people that's putting some negative on you, you still have to push through. You got to persevere. You know what I'm saying? Everything has its ups and everything has its downs.
It's true.
But you have to know, if this is what you want and what God has in store for you, no one can take it from you. So with that being said, man, you got to keep pushing too. You got to work. You got to put in the work. And because I put in the hours and the time in trying to perfect my craft, I've been extremely prosperous with it. Whereas I haven't, thank you, Jesus, I haven't worked in almost 15 years, but yet I got everything paid for, everything. I don't have to worry about nothing. That shows you what God can do, because it ain't me. It ain't nothing but God. So
that's a blessing, man.
Yeah, man.
I have already said that a part of my shirt says manifest purpose. So I see you've been manifesting the vision,
yes,
the
Lord.
purpose, and the dreams.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. I love it. Now, accumulate, because as he said, there's cultivate, accumulate, and prosper. So with accumulate, it's defined as to gather, to build up. Have you accumulated all that you hope to, or is there more yet desired for Devin Crutcher?
I feel there's always more. There's always more that God has in store for you than what your eyes think you should have. So right now I'm just open, and as I said earlier, I'm working. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting in the work, and I'm just letting him guide me. So wherever he wants to go, that's where I'm going.
Something that I can definitely say, and you'll probably hear more about this from me later, I'm real big about the detours and moving from detours to destiny.
Facts.
And it's just amazing to see how God guides you along that journey. You're gonna go through some cuts, some bruises.
Facts.
But to get to that point of destiny, to where you've reached this point that you know God has for you. It's an amazing
It's
feeling.
amazing. I swear. I totally agree with you on that. That's so true.
So then, what are some of your accolades or achievements that has allowed you to prosper?
Oh wow. I would say some of the things that I've done as far as I've performed at every major arena in this city. I think that's a blessing because to be a person who was considered not a amazing singer at one point in time to whereas now I'm one of the top male vocalists in the city. Man, as far as my accolades, I mean, being a part of the Barcades is one.
Okay.
Finishing my first album is it was huge to me, and making a band was a huge accolade. And I'm looking at just being able to be a person that others can rely on, as far as when you come to my show, it's going to be a great show. It's going to be something that from all ages can enjoy. So that's something I've always took pride in.
And I can attest to what you're saying, man, because every time, whether I was solo or had a date and I went to one of your shows, man, you sang the classics, the R&B from the 90s, 80s, 70s soul, and you've always put on a good show.
Thank you, Doc.
And so, so definitely besides being a friend, man, I'm definitely a fan, and I can definitely say this brother, he puts out good music, so I definitely understand that. So now we're at the segment of our show, man, where we have a little fun.
Let's go.
Yeah, so we call this Top 5. And I'm going to start it off, and I'm going to give you my top 5. For me, I'm going to ask you, what's your top 5 old school R&B vocalists?
Gotcha.
Now, this doesn't have to be in any particular order unless you choose to. Mine is just not in any particular order, but I'm going to give you who my top 5 old school R&B vocalists are. Ronald Isley. I'm a huge Ronald Isley fan. That boy just voice sounds like butter, man.
Yes, sir.
Ronald Isley, Luther Vandross, Marvin Gaye, Teddy P, and Gerald Levert.
Okay. That's solid. That's some heavy hitters, Doc.
Yeah. So that's just in my top 5, in no particular order, but those are all those guys in my music rotation on my playlist. So who's your top 5 old school R&B vocalists, man?
Being a singer, that's hard, Doc. That's a hard question to ask, but what's crazy is our list is almost it is totally opposite. like we got some of the same people, but okay, start off with me, Johnny Taylor.
Okay.
I love Johnny because he had that grit and it was funky.
Okay.
Secondly, I would go with Marvin because Marvin, like as I stated earlier, he was smooth.
Yeah.
I loved how he was able to just manipulate his harmonies and stuff. Third, James Brown.
Okay.
People underestimate how good James could actually sing. Like everybody thinks that's but some of his songs where he was actually singing, James had them pipes. Okay. Then you got Stevie.
It's on the shirt.
1,000 songs. And this might be controversial. I'm gonna put Robert. I got to slide Robert up there. He got his problems. R. Kelly is still, hands down, I say a GOAT.
Okay.
He's one of the GOATs.
That's an interesting list. I'm listening to your list, and I'm listening to your list, and I'm like, yeah. He
got some fire over there now. Yeah. He got some fire, but.
Now, see, the interesting thing about it, though, is I was listening to both of y'all, and I'm like, okay, I can get with Marvin. I can get with Luther. I can get with Gerald. I can definitely get with Stevie. And I'm not sure who my fifth one would be. Not sure. It's interesting what you said about James Brown, but I can't say for sure. I have to think if I have who my fifth one might be.
Okay.
But I know my top: Luther Vandross and Marvin and Stevie.
Luther was so smooth.
That was that crooner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But listen, I got you with another top five.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
Old school TV shows. I love my music and I love my shows. So we got Different World,
Uh-huh.
Cosby Show.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Then you got Martin. Gotta have Martin. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And then I'm gonna go a little different on y'all. So, there's the shows like Facts of Life and One Day at a Time and Alice, Three's Company. So I'm gonna go let my fifth one be Three's Company.
Oh wow. I like Three's Company.
Yeah.
Three's Company was good.
What you got?
Martin, number one, The Cosby Show. Good Times. Jeffersons. I need one more. It's gonna throw y'all off a little bit.
Okay.
Saved by the Bell.
I love that show.
I used to rock with
Sorry.
Saved by the Bell, man. I rocked with Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Before school,
Zach,
after school.
Screech.
Yeah. That was one of my shows.
Okay, I can get with that. I hear that.
Childhood.
Yeah, man.
I guess my top five shows, of course, which made me go to a HBCU because I am a TSU alumni, Tennessee State, was Different World.
Yeah.
Martin, of course. Different World, Martin. Sanford and Son.
Ooh.
This one is a little different, but I loved it growing up watching it. The Incredible Hulk. I love watching The Incredible Hulk. And then I would say to probably round that out, it's a lot of shows, but I was a huge New York Undercover fan.
That was five.
That almost made me want to be a officer at one point, but undercover though. But yeah, New York Undercover, to me, one of the best cop drama shows. They had the dope music soundtrack, and different artists and everything, and it was, yeah. So those are my top five old school TV shows. And to round it out, of course, I'm gonna have my Cosby and everything up in there, but the ones who influenced me the most that I could watch now, like it's nothing, definitely Different World, Martin, The Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby. You know what I'm saying?
The original.
The original, you know what I'm saying? Not this computer generated crap they got going. The original one with Bill Bixby and then
Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, that was, you know what I'm saying? So that was my childhood growing up watching, watching those shows like that. And then of course Sanford and Son, I mean Fred and Lamont. That was always classic.
Let me ask y'all a question.
Okay.
Your favorite top five cartoons?
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay. So don't y'all judge me. Fat Albert.
Okay.
Tom and Jerry. Flintstones. Okay. I'm sorry. When I was a little girl, it was just like so cute seeing the little blue creatures running around. So of course the Smurfs. I'm gonna say the Smurfs. Don't y'all judge me. I'm still a little lady. And let me see. I liked even like the little shows like G.I. Joe, He-Man, She-Ra.
Yeah.
I can really, instead of G.I. Joe, He-Man and She-Ra, they tied. I love those.
Come on, big bro.
Okay. Top five cartoons. Well, G.I. Joe's one. Transformers. G.I. Joe, Transformers. Of course, the classic, like she said, Fat Albert. I actually like Garfield, man.
Ooh.
Garfield was funny, you know what I'm saying? Garfield, and then to round it out, Gotta go with old school Scooby Doo.
Ooh.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. Me, I'm gonna start off with G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
I loved it because it always had at the end where it was knowing it's half the battle and they have
uh-huh.
Yeah.
situations. I thought that was real dope. That Transformers. I'm gonna do. I like the Smurfs
Thank you.
and the Flintstones and Bugs Bunny,
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like really cool growing up because Saturday comes around and you
some
got to
cereal?
have your cereal.
Oh,
Yeah.
day was made.
Sit right there in front of the TV.
Kids
life, baby.
these days, I don't think they have no idea on how Saturday was like. Looking forward to Saturday cartoons, and then when I was into it, I'm not into anymore. Wrestling, man. That's
Especially Channel 5 wrestling
Yeah,
back in the day when
man.
it was here. Oh man.
man.
I
Those-
watched it.
Yeah, Saturday,
Those were the
Saturday
days,
was the
bro.
day for cartoons and watch some wrestling. Then in the evening, the soul.
That's it.
I used to want to be a Soul Train cameraman. Yeah, man, because the ladies, man, I'm not gonna lie. I used to say, man, dude, I want to grow up and be a Soul cameraman.
Bro.
But Soul Train came on that evening, man. You were
And
always,
Apollo.
yeah, Apollo. Years
Always
later,
in the
yeah,
evenings that
yeah.
I
those
want
were
to
the
be a
days.
Soul Train dancer, but I
can
couldn't
see it.
dance, man.
I can see it.
I
just
couldn't
get
dance.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, Saturdays growing up, man, that's something with all the technology and everything, I used to tell students I used to work in the school system, I would not trade for when I grew up to grow up now.
Not at all,
because even though they got the technology and all of that, a lot of kids are growing up really without a childhood. But back then,
We
whether
had
you
fun,
had money or not, you didn't realize if you was on the maybe kind of impoverished, or even if you wasn't, you just the small things, man, being able, go out to the skating rink, whether you could skate or not, and it just different things that, that
Simple
a lot of
things.
kids now, you got to worry about someone for the breakout shooting or whatnot.
Facts.
So, but yeah, them Saturday mornings, those were the good old days, man, watching the cartoons and then watching wrestling. It was a good time.
Then you mentioned even going to the skating rink. We had the times because you don't see it as much now either, but being able to go outside, until the street light came on.
Facts. Being out.
Playing kickball. We used to live in this cove, and it was like all the kids playing kickball, playing what was it? Red light, green light. Just having fun as a child. All it is now is the electronics. So
Yeah. Well, now we go into our segment of the show where we try to give someone some helpful advice dealing with life issues. Banana peel. So we're going to get ready to peel back this banana. We have a letter from a brother by the name of Rashad from Charlotte, North Carolina. He says, a month ago, I had a good time at a 20-year class reunion. My homeboy X was there, who he was once engaged to before breaking up in college. We chatted up, exchanged numbers for business, being that we're both in the real estate industry. And what started off casual is now becoming serious. My boy is happily married to someone else, but I know how he used to feel about her. How should I handle this? And once again, this is from Richard from Charlotte, North Carolina. Eric, I'm gonna let you get your take before I bring my perspective on it.
let the female come first, huh?
Most definitely, ladies first. No? There you go.
Okay. Now I'm looking at the dynamics of this. One, his friend who was engaged to the young lady is happily married now. So there's not a chance of him getting upset like, there could have been another chance for us or anything, because that chance is gone and he's happy. So I would say have a conversation At least let it be known. There's always, I'm always big about having a conversation, but communication is important. There was a time that I had two cousins who were like interested in me, and I just said, you know what? I ain't going to the prom with neither one of y'all because that's just too close. But this guy's married and he's happy. Just have a conversation, because back in the day there used to be the rules where it's like, you don't talk to your friend's ex. That's just something that you just don't do. And you don't talk. Yeah, pretty much. That's just it. You don't talk to your friend's ex. And I've seen a lot of friendships ruined because of that. But being the dynamic again that he is married, so there is no chance there. Just have the conversation and let him know.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me peel back this banana. All right, let's see.
He loves peel it back.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, what is the statute of limitation on? Something like that. But on the real, you went to your class reunion, which is 20 years. I don't know if I'm assuming it's a high school or what have you, but you said that they were engaged and they broke up in college, and your homeboy has moved on and has been married now. Yeah, you just be straight up with him, man. Since you thinking this is it's becoming serious, that's the operative word. If it was something casual, I mean, it is what it is. But since you thinking it's becoming serious, just so it won't blindside him, not that you owe him an explanation, but it's out of respect, since he's your boy or whatnot. But he's moved on, he's happily married. But just have that conversation, because a lot of times things like this can go left when folks just kind of be sneaking around, Mr. Biggs and R. Kelly type stuff, just just doing stuff on the down low when, because you did say you acknowledge how he used to feel about her. So obviously for him to be even engaged with somebody, there was love that was there. Now, even though he's moved on in his life, it's good to just let him know, like, hey, saw so-and-so at the reunion, we changed business cards, whatever, and we've been hanging out, and, I'm really digging her. She's single, I'm single. So I just want to let you know. And I would think, your homeboy will respect you more by doing it that way than just all of a sudden just popping up and he's like, wow, when did this happen? But I think it should be okay. Just let him know. Be straight up. I always say it's better to be honest than withhold the truth about any situation, especially when it comes to things of this nature. Because even though he has moved on, he's married, it's just a point of him turning around and saying, hey, man, you could have just told me, instead of just, yeah. So we're going to ask our guest, what's your take on this, Devin?
I mean, you guys pretty much said everything that I would say. It's all about communication. You know what I'm saying? First, you got to go holler at your boy. Hey, fam. Shawty, me and her been hanging out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't anything at first, but it's starting to grow. You cool with it. Now, most guys going to start off being like, oh, man, I'm cool with it. That's straight. But, some dude's going to say that, but inside going to be in their feelings. Man, you shouldn't have talked to my gal. But like you said, it's pretty much about the communication, man. As long as I told you in the head of time, instead of surprising you with it, it should be cool. Like you said, it's also, what are the statute of limitations? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
If it was 10 years ago, bro, she should be on the open market. Now, if it was like 5 years ago or less, I can understand you still having feelings. But as he stated, he was married. I mean, his friend is married to somebody, so he shouldn't have any attachments to her. Shouldn't.
That's
so
awkward, yeah.
I just communication.
Yeah, and you're right. Some fellas, and it happens, I'm sure, with women too. But some fellas do, even if they have moved on, still be like, well, that's the code. Yeah, I mean, I get it if it's like, now if this was like within a year or two, yeah, you'd be like, come on, man. Like, seriously, you gonna do that? Like, but they had a 20-year class reunion, and and then he said they broke up in college. So 20-year class reunion, if it's high school and then you in college, you know what I'm saying?
That's a good 15.
Yeah, so it is. It's one of those situations where you be upfront, because even if his homeboy hadn't moved on, if he was single, it would still apply. But he is married now. He said happily married, but it's just a common courtesy and respect just to say, hey, instead of just popping it up or whatnot. But then if his homeboy was to get in his feelings, then that's not on him. That's something he has to deal with. But a lot of people do that out here, because I've seen it happen with friends of mine in the past, and they were like, JD, what you think? I'm like, hey, I'm not in this. But aren't you? It's the principle, man. What's the principle? You moved on with somebody. Yep. This was like it was over past 5 years. I forgot the exact amount of time, but it wasn't me. It was one of our other friends, and it's like, okay, yeah, man. But I say, see, when you start using conjunctions, but you need to be a verb and use actions. That's why I used to tell the students when I used to work in the school system, stop using conjunctions. But this, but that. No, it is what it is. But sometimes people will do that. But I think for the most part, he's gonna respect the fact that you decide to even. Because you didn't have to share that.
Facts.
But if you share that with him, he should be okay. But then if he's not, and he says he is and he's not, well, that's on him.
Right.
I agree with you on that one, bro.
Now listen, I can also think it was you, JD, that did mention, sometimes it can be true for the women. This is the same thing on both sides. Because I've seen it happen even with I've been involved with it, like being on the other end and someone talking to someone that I had been talking to, and it was actually during the same time. But anyway, so Rashad, have the conversation.
Yeah.
Communication is always important. Our listeners, make sure that if you have a banana peel that you want to send us, send all banana peel questions to cappodcast3@gmail.com. That's the cappodcast3@gmail.com. And remember, as you are watching, you see that subscribe button right there.
Right there.
You see it? It's right there. Go and click that thing one time. You know what I'm saying? And then tell your friends to click it, share it, comment on it. But make sure you click that right there.
Definitely.
All right?
Definitely. Man, it has been a great show. Devin, we're glad to have had you as our guest on here. So now this is the time that we give you the opportunity to let our listeners and viewers know where they can come see you, how they can get in contact with you, book you, give all your whatever you got going on, man. Have at it, share your social media handles and all of that. Let our listeners and audience know.
Cool beans.
Give us a little croon or something,
I might throw a little something out there. All right. So if you're interested in knowing anything about me as far as booking, shows, etc., my website is you got it? Crutcher.com. Crutcher.com. Go on there, you see all my stuff, all my videos, pictures, the bio, everything will be up on there. Every Wednesday I rock at this spot called Viva that is off of Mount Moriah in Memphis, so you can come there. You can hear me every Wednesday there. I pretty much have my schedule on my page, so you can see every spot that I'm going to be at, so you can always be up to date on where I'll be, or I have it on my Instagram or Facebook. My Instagram is Devin_Crutcher 901. You can go on there, you see all my pictures, bio, same thing, you know what I'm saying? So you can see everything that I have going on. Man, just come rock with me. Come have fun with me, party with me. I love my fans, I love my friends. So come out there and chill with your boy.
Okay. There you have it. You have how you can get in contact with this amazing brother, this artist, and everything. So now we're in the part of our show, but before we get ready to end this, We got the detour moment with Erica.
Yes, detour. So listen, I was driving down the street the other day, and it was like the road was like completely blocked. I'm like, man, I gotta go here, I gotta go there. It's all in the way. Now it's blocked and I can't get through. So often we deal with this in life. We're trying to go forward. We're trying to keep going, and then we keep having these things that's blocking our view. We keep having these detours that come up, and it's keeping us, we think, from getting to our destination. Realize that's not the time to just give up and stop. Sometimes, just maybe, God is blocking a situation or getting you away from a situation that's not good for you anyway. So when you have to turn around, as you're turning around, it's something else that God has for you. Be very, very careful about that. Watch, be very observant to what God may be doing in that season or in that detour, and move accordingly.
That is a very wise words, very powerful, Erica. So now it's the brain drop moment. And the brain drop for today is try using your head before relying on your tail. Let me say that again. Try using your head before relying on your tail. I'm going to explain what I mean by that. And this is not only just for the ladies, it's for the fellas as well. When I say tail, it's not only meaning of a sexual nature or your body, but it can be your money or anything that folks deem tangible, to try to manipulate or get over on people or to use people to their advantage. But when you operate out of a place of integrity, you use your mind, that weighs a lot more than what you do when you're using other things to try to get people to do what you want. And we've seen this. Men have seen women do it. Women have seen men do it. So once again, use your head besides trying to rely on your tail to make things happen.
That's good.
So yeah,
That's some powerful stuff, bro.
That's a dog.
most definitely. So because we see it all the time, and I came up with that the other day when I was observing some people operating like, oh man, and it came up, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah. So with that being said, we have had a great show today. We've had an amazing guest with Devin DC Crutcher.
Thank you guys for having me, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on the Cap. Once again, we want you all to remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe, share this podcast. This is something we're trying to do positive for the culture. We love having amazing guests. We love giving you content that feeds your mind and your soul, and have some laughs in there and just reminisce about things that we grew up listening, watching, or doing or whatnot. So, like I always leave you before we get off the podcast, saying I always say, if you're going to be anything, be for real. This is JD.
This is Erica.
And we'll holler at you next time on Cap.
Peace.
Peace.